Hi everyone, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Off the Bar Banter, Backseat Banter. This is going up on Backseat Banter's YouTube channel, but this is technically an Off the Bar video because it is pertaining about soccer or football. I'm sorry if my voice is sounding a little bit low. It is currently 2:13 in the morning when I'm making this video. This is a video I've been wanting to make since the transfer window has shut. And, it's been kind of eating at me that I haven't made this video, and, I finally turned around to myself and said, after editing and doing some stuff for the channel, I finally turned around and said, I gotta make this video. I have to. I think it has to be said by another media, another source. I know we're not as big as, other channels, other Manchester United fan channels. I mean, this isn't a Manchester United fan channel by any means, but as you know, Ben and I are big Man United fans. Again, apologize for the voice. I know it's really low right now. It's 2:13 in the morning. I have people sleeping in this house, and I don't want to wake them up. And so I know maybe doing this a little bit later in the day, or doing it during a time where I can sound more, I have a little bit more passion, a little bit more robust, and a little bit more gusto with my tone. But to be honest with you, I think I'm just gonna get the point across a-okay with talking like this. As a Manchester United fan, it has been kind of rocky ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. And the reason I'm making this video is to kind of highlight what's been going on with the club. And I know it's, this is a topic that hasn't been undocumented. That hasn't been, it hasn't been undocumented. This has been heavily documented as to the failure of this club, especially with the board. I know fan channels and other soccer media talk channels have already come out and kind of given their opinion and their disdain and and their opinions about the topic. But I just wanted to share my 2 cents. I know Ben should probably be here, but honestly, he's just gonna belliger the point and just kind of reiterate the point that I would be making already. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. Ben, if you're watching this, you could have also been in this video. I just wanted to make it of my own because, it has to be made. It really does. It's a video that I can't stand by and not make, especially being a Manchester United supporter. I think it's been well documented the fact that the board has been not the best for the club. Yes, have they spent big at times? Yes, but they've always done it with a net spend where they either spent, where they made money back on some deals, and so it looks like hey, we spent 200 million in this 200 million and we sold 100 million, but technically they only spent 100 million. It to be honest, it can't fly like that. I think we look, especially if we're going to compare in the Premier League, we look especially with Pep. If I'm just going to take Man City for example, Pep Guardiola came in, he had other players from other managers and he got rid of them right away. He brought in, and then next season, the first season he brought in Bravo. Then he realized he needed a new goalkeeper, so he brought in Edison, a younger goalkeeper as well, and he's done really well. While while Bravo was just a stopgap goalkeeper just to keep him afloat, and they got 4th that year, so it hasn't been bad. And then the next year, guess what? They became Premier League champs. I know they haven't done well in the Champions League, but you know what? But I think it's been shown, and it's the same thing with Klopp as well, that they will bring in players. They will bring in players that fit their style, and that they will try to build it on their style, so that way they can get a sense of community and continuity throughout the club. And I think it's a sense that they got rid of Deadwood and they replaced it with better players. But with Manchester United, it hasn't been like that. It really hasn't. Yes, have they done good work this window with a couple of signings? Yes. They arguably they got rid of the best center back Manchester United had on the roster in Chris Smalling, and he went back to Roma for 18 million. Still a good deal. He's getting up there in age. 18 million for an aging center back, fine. But what happened to Phil Jones? I can tell you what happened. It's because no one wants to take on his massive wages. He's on 100K a week. Phil Jones is on 100K a week. There are people in the Championship in League 3 or in League 4, in League 1 and League 2 that are better players than Phil Jones, that are better defenders than Phil Jones. Phil Jones is not a top-rated center back at all. He had the potential to once be, but not anymore. But you're paying him like he still has that potential. He still has a glimpse to get that, but nope. 100K a week. West Ham, David Moyes apparently wanted him. Why? How come that deal didn't happen? Same thing with Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard should have been out of this club. Even Mourinho wanted him at Tottenham. And same thing with West Ham. Both of them. And I'm only emphasizing Tottenham because Tottenham is a top 6 rival club, whereas West Ham isn't. Jose Mourinho wanted Jesse Lingard. They were even considering a swap with Dele Alli. The reports came out. Again, these are reports that came out, but didn't happen. Juan Mata is still at the club. I'm not mad that Juan Mata is still there. I think he can honestly be a good leader in the locker room and a good leader for some of the younger players. And so, you know what? I'm not too mad. I'm genuinely not too mad about that, about him staying. Andres Pereira, he left a Lazio. Oh, by the way, he also deleted everything about Manchester United on his Instagram as well, or archived it. And because he expects that he's going to be staying there, because it's not an obligation, it's an option to buy for around 22 million. By the way, that's a fantastic deal to get rid of Andres Pereira for around 22 million. Then it came to Delo, honestly, you know what? Good for him. You know, he honestly, under the right system, I believe he can be the Portuguese Hakimi. He's not going to get it under Man United. He's not going to get that under Manchester United because Manchester United at right back are going to play Brandon Williams and Wan-Bissaka. They're not going to play Delo at right back. I honestly believe he can be the Portuguese Hakimi, the equivalent, a right wing back or a right midfielder that you can play there. And so, you know what? Good for Delo. He's getting experience at a top club, at a good club that has been notorious for developing good young talent as well. So, you know what? AC Milan, take care of him because he's honestly, you should have also had an option to buy because he is going to be a talent, and I guarantee you he is going to be an influential player this season for you. But then that was it. That was all the departures. There was no Phil Jones. There was no Romero. Romero wanted to leave. He's third choice, and he's on 80K a week. He's on 80K a week. I think I saw something where he's also on 100. But he's on at least 80K a week. But where'd he go? Nowhere. Everton wanted him. Aston Villa wanted him. I'm sure he was also offered to abroad clubs as well. But no, nothing came of the sorts. And it's ridiculous. And maybe it's because of the wages and they couldn't even get, the wage demands correctly, but the clubs couldn't fit his wage demands. But you know what? It's ridiculous. There's no wage structure at United. It's, hey, we'll just pay whatever to whoever. Oh, and by the way, speaking of contracts, they haven't even signed Paul Pogba to the new contract, which I doubt will happen now. Because I think the main thing that he wants to stay is for winning football, which hasn't really happened this season yet. And another big component that I'm going to touch on real quick is Jadon Sancho. I'm going to touch on him a little bit later. He hasn't signed. Sure, negotiations are going on, but I'm sure if Man United got Jadon Sancho, he would have signed. He would already be signed. And if they got Sancho, right after the Leicester game or close after, I'm sure we would also see Pogba signed. But no. We don't have no Sancho. Pogba might leave on a free, by the way. Our world record signing. Our Manchester United's world record signing might leave on a free to a club of his desire in January if they can't figure out a deal because he's on the last year of his contract. Guess what though? Man United messed up. And you know what? It's not Ollie's fault. I'm not going to get into the tactics of Ollie because, you know what? At this point, it's, Ollie's is an inexperienced manager. He's gonna work out some kinks. I wish he might have done it on at maybe another club in like Italy or Germany first before coming to Manchester United, but he didn't. He's figuring things out in Manchester United, and he there are some things that have proven to have worked under Ollie. Definitely playing the 4-2-3-1 instead of a 5-back has been proven to be doing very well for him. I mean, he beat Manchester City like 2-3 times last year, Chelsea twice as well, 2-3 times again. This isn't. It's not his fault. I don't put. You could put some of the blame, maybe. I don't put 100% of the blame on Ollie. I don't. I look at the board. I look at Ed Woodward, and I look at the Glazers. The Glazers rather spend $50 million on an aging Tom Brady than $50 million to bolster the squad. Oh, and by the way, speaking of $50 million, the two wingers that Manchester United signed, Palestri and Ahmad Traore, combined with add-ons and everything, cost around $50 million. You could have spent 70 more. 70 more. You could have saved 10 by not signing Cavani. So that's $60 million right there. Pay another $60 million. Guess what? You have Jadon Sancho. You have Jadon Sancho right there. And you know what? Listen, Ahmad Traore and Palestri, I am not mad at. I'm not mad at the signings. I'm not mad at them because it's not their fault. I am negative towards the signings because they're not Sancho. I'm sure they have great talent and, a great future and, great. I mean, we saw, I don't have the name, but a South American, like a highly talented South American scout, came out and said, he's a top talent and, he's fast, he's blistering pace, he runs at defenders, he's good on the feet, he's good on the ball, he dribbles very well, but he's going to struggle keeping up in the Premier League, which is an issue because that's the league he now plays in. He even struggled in Uruguay. I mean, listen, he doesn't get into the squad right away, or at least in the first team right away, but Oh, and by the way, they could have sold Don James for another $12 million to fund the Sancho deal. So now you have $72 million in saved funds. So and then you just spend $50 million and you buy Jadon Sancho. But that didn't happen. That didn't happen. Ahmad Traore, who's played 13 minutes in the Serie A. It's 13 minutes in the Serie A. And Papu Gomez came out and said that he plays like Messi on the training pitch. On the training pitch, people. I'm sure in the youth setup as well, he's done well. He scored 1 goal in a thrashing of Udinese, by the way, in a 7-1 thrashing of Udinese. 1 Serie A goal. 13 minutes. These are two players that you want to look up on YouTube to see what they're about. Because there is not a lot out there on them. I'm sure there's some scouting on them, but there isn't a lot. And then, by the way, you spend 30, I think with add-ons, it's now close to 40 million on Ahmad Traore, which is pretty much your spending on potential. You could have gotten, you could have spent, again, more, but it's about spending more, which is the issue here, because that's the key word here. More is the key word here, because guess what? Sancho not only is proven that he has the potential, that he has one of the highest ceilings in the Premier League, not in the Premier League, in the world. I misspoke. In the world, he has one of the highest ceilings in the world. You're not only buying on potential, but you are also buying on him right now, on proven talent. To me, it's unbelievable. The only two signings, I mean, listen, those are two signings for the future. I'm not too mad about Traore comes in on January. Let's see if he does well. That's all I got to say. Maybe he plays more for Atalanta. Maybe he starts developing more and more in Atalanta. And the deal only happened because the failed move to Parma, because because the deal collapsed at the last minute. So Manchester United swooped it up. Telles was a good signing, but that took forever. That took 2-3 weeks when the deal, they were haggling over like 5 million, by the way. They signed him for 18-20 million and Porto wanted 25. They signed him for 18 million. A $5 to $7 million difference in valuation. Meanwhile, Man City realized they can't get Koulibaly, so they go out and buy Ruben Diaz for 40-50 million? But that only took a few days. Why? Because their board understands that, hey, success means money. We need to buy success. Manchester United's board doesn't understand that. They want to cut costs at any point, and they think they can cut costs and still just get by. So that way they can turn a revenue, turn a profit for the shareholders. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable what is happening to this club. I think it's apparent from this video that I am very much Glazers and Woodward out. And you know what? If a buyer comes in, I would honestly, I'd accept it in a heartbeat. Donny van de Beek, by the way, is like the only deal that that Manchester United did, where it was done in like, I don't know, 2-3 days. It really didn't take that long to get it done. Why? Because Ajax pushed for that deal. Van der Sar, an ex-Manchester United player, had to push the board and say, you need to sign this player right now or he's gone. Van der Sar had to push the board to sign this guy. And guess what? It got done in 2-3 days because of someone else's sporting director. Someone else's director of football. It's ridiculous. It is honestly ridiculous as to what is happening to this club. And you know what? I can't stand idly by while I see this club piss away every self-respect, every shred of respect that it once had. And now there's rust on that gold, on that shimmer that used to be Manchester United, because there are dark raining clouds hanging over Old Trafford. There are dark hanging clouds hanging over Old Trafford, and until Woodward and Glazers get out, or they realize, like, hey, you know what? We need to actually start acting like City or Liverpool or even Wolves, because Wolves, listen, I mean, I get it. They buy all the Portuguese players, but those deals get done. Those deals get done right away. Chelsea. How many signings by Chelsea did we see this window? How many? But they were done like that. Like that. Like, there wasn't a time where there was like you can say the Kai Havertz deal. But that was, I think, because Leverkusen were waiting to see what happens with Sancho. And when they realized nothing was happening, they realized, okay, we gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta take Price. That was the only deal that we saw really play out. Maybe Mendy as well, because they were also looking at other goalkeepers. But that's it. Werner got done. Thiago Silva got done. Malang Sarr got done. I mean, Ziyech got done. I mean, Zia got done in January. It's incredible. It's incredible the lack of the incompetence, not the lack of incompetence, the full incompetence of this club, of the board. The Glazers have the funding for it. Do they want to spend it? No, they don't. They'd rather not, and that's why deals take so long, because they haggle. And guess what? Bruno, they still bought for the same price. Leicester, they still bought for the quoted price for Harry Maguire. Which, by the way, I just want to point out, I'm not going to make a whole point out of this. He should not be captain. Bruno Fernandes deserves a captain armband. If he's captain still, that just shows the issues. Oh, and by the way, Manchester United also needed a centre back. They couldn't even get like a cheap one or a loan this year during the transfer deadline day. They couldn't. Why? Because they were scrambling around doing other deals that should have been done ages ago. The incompetence of this club is very real. The incompetence in the club is very real. And you know what? I didn't even bring up Cavani. If he, 33 years old, to me, you're signing the Uruguayan Falcao or Mandzukic, a player that's past his prime and is just looking for a paycheck. A big paycheck at this point. I'm sure he's done well. I'm not sure he's done well. I know he's done well at PSG. He scored over 200 goals for the club. I know he's done well. And you know what? If he does well at the club too for a year, I wouldn't be too mad. But for a year, because that number 7 shirt belongs to that man in Dortmund. It belongs to that Englishman in Dortmund. That was his number and that was his shirt. But it was taken by Woodward and Glazers because of their incompetence and not, getting all his number one priority. Their number one priority was Sancho. His number one priority was Sancho. If they can't even get his number one priority or his number one target, what does it say about the club? We're going to be stuck, Manchester United are going to be stuck with, all these number 2, 3, 4 targets, options that he wanted for that position. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable what has happened to this club. And you know what? I know I'm going on for a little bit while now. It's been 20 minutes, but you know what? I've had enough. And this is me talking out and lashing out about it and doing something about it. I'm sorry this video had, I'm sorry that this video seems a little bit rushed or vague, or not vague, but I don't know. I'm trying to come up with an adjective. It seems a little bit frustrated. I think you guys can clearly tell there's frustration. I'm severely frustrated with what this club has done. They even broke Patrice Evra, the happiest man in the world. You broke the man who will die for this club. And we saw on Sky Sports that he's no longer that guy anymore because of what this club has done. They have tarnished their legacy. What this board has done is tarnished the legacy of Manchester United. They have tarnished the reputation of being the world's biggest club. They have tarnished what has been, they have tarnished it. They have tarnished the name Manchester United to almost laughter. Like I said, the shimmer, the shine is now rusted because of the dark hanging cloud, raining cloud that is over Manchester United, that is over Old Trafford. All the glitz and glamour is no longer there. The sheen, no longer there. The name Manchester United barely holds weight anymore to any player. Unless they were a boyhood fan. They were a fan and this was a boyhood club like Agala or maybe even Upamecano, if that deal can even go through, because I doubt it, because you know what, Bayern could probably even get him for him next year, or Arsenal, because Arsenal wants him, and apparently Arsenal has 50 million to sign Thomas Partey. It's you know what, I don't want to speak on this anymore. I think I'm done. I don't want to I don't want to be frustrated before I go to bed. And you know what, I'm tired of what's happening at this club. I can no longer sit by and support a club that that does this. I will always stick by the players. I will always stick by the manager. I just can't support the board and its decisions. I will never stick by them until things change, and nothing has. They claim they has in their stockholder meetings and their conference calls and whatever, but it hasn't. It hasn't. And you know what? I can't anymore. I can't watch this club piss away my hopes and dreams of seeing them lift a title, a league title. Because you know what? I haven't been watching football for the longest time. I was always a Manchester United fan. I just, about 5-6 years ago, I really started picking up watching it more, getting more active in the sport and understanding it more. But as a child, I've always liked Manchester United because of Wayne Rooney. But you know what? I can't like this club anymore. I mean, I can like the club, but I can't like what it's happening at the club. I can't stick by. I can't stand by the club when, they're being torn apart on the inside. The club's imploding. Things need to change. And if things don't change, things go down. Again, thank you guys so much for watching this video if you made it to this point. I'm sorry that it seems like a rant video, because it is. It is a rant video. But you know what? It had to be made. It had to be said. And you know what? I'm tired of listening to excuses by the club. I'm tired of it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Links to the podcast and social media in the description down below. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section down below. If you like the video, like it. If not, I should be more enthusiastic about that, but you know what? I'm tired. And you know what? I'm tired of making excuses for a club that are making excuses for their own self-benefit. Again, thank you guys for watching if you made it this far. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Or, I don't know. If you enjoyed this video that I made, let me know what you guys think. But, yeah, that's it. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment if you agree with me. And, yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.